Hello, this is Margaret Ajibode. I am a black female with glasses. I have a light blue top on. I've got a medium long hair, well, medium hair, side length hair. And today, I've got a special guest because we've been talking about STEM and disability. We've been doing a series of that. And today I have a special guest, Elaine Hughes. She is a disability inclusion specialist. And what she does is to try to bridge a gap between people with disability and business. But she tells more about that. And the reason why we set up this platform, we want to educate, we want to raise awareness, we want to change perception and demystify what STEM is. That's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We want to provide solutions. We want to make sure that what's going on and how we can better make our environment more inclusive, more accessible, and also show the diversity of people that work within our industry. So without further ado, welcome, Elaine.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm
I'm
very
Elaine.
well.
So, yeah, it's nice to be visually impaired. So I'm Elaine, I'm a black woman. I've got my hair in a bun and I'm wearing a white jumper. Yeah, I'm free today to talk to you about inclusion.
Indeed. Well, yes. I mean, can you just tell us more? I mean, the reason why we're doing this STEM and disabilities because there's so many people who feel that it's far from them. They don't feel included. And one of the things that you are a specialist where you deal with disability, you're the disability inclusion specialist, and you deal with where the people for companies to be compliant, but also about how can we what are the steps that one needs to take in order for our environment to be more inclusive. So it's in a way, what you're doing is actually talking to the businesses itself and what they should be taking into stock.
Yeah, it's kind of like multifaceted. So disability inclusion covers a range of things.
Okay.
Um, so obviously, you've got, hidden disabilities, you've got visual, got audio, and obviously you've got physical. So it's a range, it's a massive, massive range of spectrum. And I personally believe that the one kind of tapped area that hasn't been tapped properly is the disability inclusion aspect. It's not the mountain is so high, it's not even been scratched. Just saying, and that's in terms of like, finances. And in terms of like STEM, there's lots of work to be doing around inclusion, just saying, and really
Okay.
just getting people in those kind of roles who have a
Yeah.
disability, who can now
Mhm.
help change it from the inside, just saying, versus people from the outside. So yeah, so basically for me, so we talk about what does inclusion look like? So that could be a mixture of disabilities, but also it's also intersectionalities. So I'm saying, so it could be a black woman like myself, a black woman who is disabled, who's over 40. There's lots of intersectionalities there that
Of
often
course.
get missed.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of DEI people just tend to focus on race. And I'm
Yeah.
always saying that that's a massive part, which we all know. But there's lots of intersectionalities. It's inequalities in education, social background. So there's lots of intersectionalities that businesses don't take into account that can actually help with their business and drive it forward.
Indeed. And this why you do what you do. I mean, again, you're coming from because you are disabled itself and you know what you've gone through and how you've overcome, but also what you want to do, because again, sometimes people do not know what to do. I think we need to be aware of that. They know it's there, but they don't know what to do. They don't know how to change things. And you're based on your experience and your expertise, because again, what I wanted is not just the experience that is your expertise. This is why you do what you do. You want to change the environment. This is why we want to change, we want to raise awareness, we want to educate. I want to change perception. For us to do that, we need to showcase what is possible. So, what are the fundamentals? Because as you said, disability is so broad and so diverse, and you talked about the hidden and the non-hidden disability, and but people are so used to the norm, what they define as norm. So, what would you say, based on your experience and based on your expertise, what do we need to do to make it that to change that narrative?
So for me, so a little bit about me. So I was born with cerebral palsy, so I've got spastic quadriplegic cerebral palsy, which means
Okay.
that all my limbs are affected. So I
Hmm.
struggle with walking, I struggle with falls, so things for me, trip hazard. When I go into companies, I always say to them, it's looking at the bigger picture. So once we can make it accessible for someone who's disabled, you make it accessible for all. So it's not just about
Mm.
putting a ramp in. There's other things as well. You can do like for so in terms of a business background, I'm also a certified strategist as well, sales and business strategist. So from a business point of view, you're looking at representation in marketing. You're looking at representation in recruitment. You're looking at representation in tech.
Mm.
I.e., accessible websites.
Mm.
Audio, text to speech.
Mm.
You're looking in representation in your front desk administration. You're looking at representation in your HR department. So
Mm.
all these facets of your business, you
Yeah.
need to be looking at that. And then also my point, also I say to customers as well, to the business as well. What is your disabled customer's journey?
Mm.
Because one, and think about it from the point of view, it's like 6 degrees of separation. If a
Hmm.
disabled person buys from you, their family is going to buy from you. They're going
Of
to tell the
course.
community. So you're going to
Mm.
get more. So you need to, and I find that most businesses do not, whilst we all, for the first one-on-one of businesses, who is your ideal client? That's the
Mm.
first, you go to any business course, the
Yeah.
first thing they'll say to you, who is your ideal client? Who are you speaking to? And
Yeah.
I always say to business, who is your disabled client? What
Yeah.
is their journey? How do they navigate for your business? If you're looking to recruit a disabled person into your business, what is their progression? How easy is it? How easy? Do you offer different formats of application form? Do you offer accessible interview technique? Do you make sure that they have a career progress? Does that disabled person look at that company and think, okay, I can see myself rising up the steps of that community ladder? And
Mm. Mm.
that's what we need to look at. That's what I talk about intersectionality and so in inclusion, that's what it looks like. It's not
Yeah.
just about the standard old putting a ramp in or having a picture with a disabled person in a wheelchair in a picture.
No, no,
It's,
no,
it's
of
a lot
course.
more than that. It's a bigger picture.
Uh, of course, because you mentioned about representation within the different facets of the business itself, and that's so key. But for them to be able to do that, they have to feel comfortable, they feel safe, but also because they look up the cost thing. Because I know I saw something about where you've got this mini audit where you give to businesses to look at, am I really inclusive according
Yeah,
to the government's requirement, or are we just talking? Is it just a well, we do this, we do that? Are we, as you say, take a photo with a person with disability? So what does that mean? What does that translate to in the practical terms? So how would you say? What would you say to the business? What should they be doing? Because really, because you have the experience, as you talked about your journey, your type of disability and the impact and how it's affected you. But you run a business, you're successful at what you do. So how can we? Because one of the things I've realized is that unless people see people that have look different from them or disabled working in an environment, they can't see how they can relate with that. And I think that's what basically you're raising right now. But you are a success story. So how do we? What would you say to the businesses? The things the practical steps. Because you got your audit, I know. I haven't actually seen it, but you have got your audit. So you're, in a way, what you're saying is
yeah.
that
So, so,
there
so
are
it's,
opportunities for you to change. But then also if business are looking for profit. And we're not just talking about large companies that can accommodate that. We're also looking at small and medium businesses and what they should be doing. Institutions, the education system, just across the board, really. That's basically
yeah.
so what are the key elements that we need to be?
Yeah, so kind of impact a lot. So yeah, so obviously the ultimate goal of a business is to make money and to be profitable. Businesses aren't in business just to do do the good thing. They're there to make they're there to make money. How I come from it from my perspective is as thinking as a strategist as a businesswoman who's had a successful e-commerce business and made 6 figures and all this of it. My view is what can you do in your business to make fundamental change? And I know people say, oh, you have to do all this, it costs me. There's little things you can do, little things make a big difference. So it's looking at say, as I said before, it's looking at your talent pool. Who are you hiring for? There's lots of students coming out of school, out of university, with 2-1 bachelor's degrees, all these kind of things, who are disabled, who can't get internships, can't get roles. So you've got a massive pool of students there that you can tap into for resources, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You
Hmm.
know, it goes further than that. Are you making your workplace inclusive? So are you saying to your disabled, workers, we can help you get access to work grants that can help you get made support, whether you're neurodivergent, whether you're disabled in work, to give you any work support so you can do your job.
Hmm.
Are you providing support for families who may be carers for children who are maybe neurodivergent or disabled, or have
Hmm.
a family member? Are you supporting those? So there's lots of
Hmm.
things you can put in place that aren't
Yeah.
going to cost you lots of money, but it can make it better. And then I also say to businesses, when I do my audit, the profitability, because we all know that 70% of businesses that are more inclusive are more profitable. So
Hmm.
you're going to tap into that £2 billion, sorry, £2 billion a month that you're losing out on,
Yeah.
of
Hmm.
stable income. So there's lots of things you
Hmm.
can do that are not big things, but small, that make you. And it is a culture change as well. It's really by having
Yeah.
that. I mean, we talk about wellness, we talk about menopause at work, we talk about neurodiversity at work. We don't tend to talk about physical disability or hidden disability in the same way.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
really about
Hmm.
having these uncomfortable conversations. But once you get them out in the open,
Hmm.
people start to say, okay, I can go to my boss and say, go to my lead manager or whatever, and say, oh, I have a disability, or I need to take time off because I've got a child who's disabled.
Disabled.
Those
Yeah.
conversations become more free and people have more freedom,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. And
Yeah.
it's about not have, and it's about respecting people's boundaries, but also saying, look, we want to help you, but or even changing work. So one client that I work with, for example, they just switched from having in-person offices sessions to hybrid. So
Yeah.
that helped a woman, who has an autistic child.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she could be at home with her child. So when she was on burnout from school, a
Hmm.
lot of autistic children tend to have burnout, or they have to take the have to take time to school.
Yeah.
Felt like
Yeah.
she was able to be at home, and she could
Yeah.
pick a child up, and that regulated him. So little things you can do. Obviously,
Do.
she's at home every day, every day of the week, I mean, 5 days a
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
3 to 4 times a week, or 3 times be at home, be able to work from home. It's having that flexibility. So that's what I look at in your
Yeah.
business. How can you be flexible, and how can you show that you can be more inclusive?
Do you know, you're so right. Do you know, because when I started this STEM and disability series, I was looking at it from a person who had disability. But you made a good point, and you see, this is the whole thing. I think that's why we want to educate. Is that I never thought about the carer who's looking after someone who has disability. That is a big thing. And it also hinders, it causes problems. And I think it's being aware of them. I think thank you so much because I never thought of it. You see, I'm learning all the time. Because sometimes we think, oh yeah, we know this, but we don't. We are learning. I think it's been open to learn. It's about the culture shift as well. That's what you're saying. It's about us changing how we do things and be considered, be, of course, respect their space, but it's also being open enough for them to feel comfortable, for them to come to talk to you about maybe they have their disability or they're looking after someone who has some form of disability. And you're talking about the burnout in school and how I didn't know that. This is there are loads of things I'm learning, but this is why we do what we do. We want to educate.
Yeah, it's a massive. That's what I say to you about disability. It's such an untapped area. It's so massive,
Yeah,
and I think people sometimes go down rabbit holes. They think, oh, neurodivergent, because like the neurodivergent term.
yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people just associate that with ADHD or autism.
yeah, yeah,
But it isn't, it's bigger. It covers,
yeah,
bipolar, it covers depression, it covers anxiety,
yeah,
it covers OCD, it covers there's a
yeah,
massive, massive, massive bubbles. So when I see people say, oh, I'm no, I just focus on neurodivergent,
neurodivergent, but
I,
it's much
I
more
also
than
say,
that.
well, okay, so you're catering for people who've got Tourette's, you're catering for people who've got OCD, you're
Yeah,
people who've got anxiety, and they're like,
yeah.
oh no, I haven't, and oh no, I haven't thought about it. I'm like, well, that's what cool. So it's a massive, massive ball. So we sometimes we get down these roads of like on the moment we've got a boom in awareness around ADHD and autism, but what happens is other conditions sometimes get pushed to the back, and
Yeah, that
I
is so
always try
true.
I always try and pull it back and say, well, no, actually, you know what I mean? Someone who's got, someone who may be autistic may have OCD, they may have Tourette's, they may have like a whole range of other conditions as well.
Yeah,
Or someone who's
yeah,
bipolar,
yeah.
who is in the neurodivergent,
David
bipolar,
spectrum,
he
yeah.
may, he may need support as well. He may, I mean, or
But they do need support because it's you know,
so
we are,
like
yeah,
you have to be careful not to just tag ourselves into these different labels and say, well, we're gonna fundamentally to be autistic. So I always say to people, look at the wider version, look at your clients, look at who's coming into your business,
yeah.
what is actually doing, because you never know that the customer who buys from you may have a parent or may be caring for someone who's disabled.
Yeah, so true.
And
You
and and
know,
and and on average, disabled people are some things like 80% more loyal than, you know what I'm saying, what I mean, to brands than anything else. If they find an inclusive brand, um,
yeah,
70%, 70% of disabled people will click off a website with under 6 seconds, when the
yeah.
average is 10 seconds if it's not
Tense.
accessible. So all these kind of things means that as a business, whether you're in STEM, whether you're in finance, whatever business, you're losing money.
Yeah, of course. I mean that is so. I mean they do talk. I mean there has research has been carried out which shows that the more diverse your environment is, the more successful, more profitable, and more productive you are as well. And you also talked about the loyalty side of things because if you give me a chance when others didn't, I will show my commitment to you by being loyal to you because you
Exactly.
took time out to give me time to do what I know I can do, but I've never been given a chance. But you also
Disabled
talked,
people,
yeah, go on.
disabled people take less breaks than somebody who, so even they have a physical condition or a hidden disability, they actually on average take less breaks. They
Mm,
stay with the
mm,
company longer for longer periods of time when they're employed.
indeed. Yeah,
They're more flexible, they're more adaptable. So especially
yeah,
home working, so they're more likely to log on around their disability. So, for
yeah,
example, if they'll say, for example, a lot of disabled people work as call center handlers, tend to
yeah,
work for night shifts because they're awake, because they're sleeping in the
yeah.
day, if
Actually,
they miss the business. So
yeah,
there's lots
y- yeah, you know you're right there because one of my conversations I had with there's another her name is Sarah Shankwire and she talks about she never sleeps. She's always active. She's so busy. She's so passionate about making our environment in education to be more inclusive and setting a curriculum that enables that to happen. And you know you know there was it's you know but this is why we do what we do. And I thank you so much, Elaine, because what you're doing, there are lots of things I didn't know. Again, I look at the surface because that's all I know. And you know, unless we are connected to somebody who has a disability, or we know someone of somebody who doesn't, then we don't see the relationship. We detach ourselves from it. Unless it affects us, we don't see how it can make any difference. And this is what you're doing. You're enlightening us. You're raising awareness. And also hopefully change the perception that look, they are loyal, they are committed, and put in place a hybrid environment which allows them the flexibility to work either from home or in an office space. But you know nowadays people want to save costs anyway, so working from home actually is can work better long term for the business itself. So, thank you so much again. So, what should we be doing? Because really, you know, if we didn't have this conversation, I won't. There's lots of things there were lots of gaps that you know, has now been filled up. So, in your mini audit, is it something that you can share with them so people can just get it and understand? Because you know, sometimes companies so busy, they're doing everything else but being
yeah.
intentional about change. And is there maybe the links where people can actually that we can share with the audience? And
Yeah,
also,
so
yeah,
so
go
so I've
on.
got so I've got a link on my LinkedIn. I've got a link on my LinkedIn page to events. So basically, I really focus on events. I do like events and training days. So I talk about accessibility events and training days. That's what my passion. But basically, my mini audience are really looking at kind of three things like the DEI strategy. So what is it? What does it look like? I mean, how is it? So that includes representation. It looks into what kind of content you're putting out. So it's like looking at reducing, reducing or removing ableist language. Say it's looking at your pictures and your marketing strategy. What does that look like? And then obviously then I look at websites, and I work with somebody I know who helps, if you find any issues. So he makes, because obviously with the law changing next year, everyone has to get accessible websites. So what we
Yeah.
do with that is that we a friend of mine, and we redo your website if needed to make sure that it's accessible and
Accessible.
so there's basic. And then we do like in depth. So obviously I can do like I go into more details. I do bigger strategy pieces and stuff like that. But really just looking at what it is you're doing, what are you saying, what is your message saying? What, as a salesperson looking into your business, do I see myself in you? Do I
Yeah.
see myself being able to come to you? Do I
Yeah.
see myself being represented? If I don't see
Yeah.
myself being represented in images, I'm not going to come with you. If I don't see
That's
myself being
true.
represented in the structure, I'm not going to come. So I look at my point of view as a salesperson, am I represented in your business? If I don't see myself, or even from other people that I know, I think I look at it as like, okay, what can we do to make it work? It's not going to cost people a huge budget. There's something, the small fixes, something just, it's all about education. So it's going in and doing workshops. We offer a variety of things. I can do in-person workshops, I can do Zoom workshops with lunch and learns and stuff like that. Or I can give you a comprehensive strategy that you can work through. And I'm not one of those companies that kind of just give you the information and tell you to go away and do it. I handhold. I
Yeah.
recognize that people make mistakes,
Of
people get
course.
unsure, and
Yeah.
then we look at it from a holistic point of view. What can we do to make sure that your business thrives?
Indeed. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate. I know you're very busy and you've got an appointment very soon, so I'm
I
going.
do.
I'm going to wrap it up. You know what I'm saying?
We'll have to do a part two.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, something. I think maybe we need to do more again. But this is. I want to bring this close because again, we want to give them a taster. If they wanted more information, they can always contact you because you're on LinkedIn. You're quite a
Yeah,
few social media platforms anyway. So I would put your link there, and they can
yeah, that'd
contact
be
you
great.
and
Yeah, that'd be
and,
great.
and get some more
I
information.
am This is the caveat. I am terrible at responding, so the best thing to do is get me on LinkedIn. Don't be missed on LinkedIn. I'm terrible. Don't Instagram me or TikTok me because I won't answer. I completely forget. But yeah, LinkedIn's fine. But yeah, just do that.
All right.
Uh,
Well, thank you so much. Look, as I said, we're going to wrap it up because you've got another
do,
meeting straight after this. So thank you
do.
very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Again, this is Margaret Ajibode, the STEM Positive Disruptor. And, please listen to this podcast. Listen to Elaine. Elaine is giving us tips on what we can do and how we can. If I can see myself in you, then I know that you're working towards inclusion, that you're an inclusive environment enables me to prosper in that environment too. So again, please listen, like, comment, subscribe, and help us to spread the word as well. So thank you very much.